Hello, everybody. Welcome into Talking Fitchburg on this cold Wednesday, February 10th, 2021. Did you know it was still winter out there? Yeah, it doesn't take long if you just step out the door and take a deep, dry breath of that cold air. Whew, it's cold, and it's going to stay cold here and even get a little bit colder as we go into the weekend. We talked a little bit about that on the show this morning, and I don't know. We get these every so often, right? I mean, it's just part of winter. It's a part of winter I don't care for, nor do I think a lot of people do at that. But hey, if you like making slushies, making snow cones, making ice, whatever, you can store it outside for like the next couple weeks, because it just seems like this isn't going away anytime soon. In fact, you could probably clean out your freezer and take all of those items and put them outside. Clean your freezer out, I'm just solutions here. That's all I'm saying. Take advantage of the cold weather. Who knew you could say that? Either way, we got a really busy show coming up for you today. Switching gears here. This week is National Burn Awareness Week, and we have a special guest for you, Adam Dorn. He's our hero here. And set up an interview with the National Burn Association. We'll be talking with our friend Kenny. He'll get us updated, talking about what's going on this week. And the theme this year is Amp to Zap. And he'll break it down for you in a two-part series today. Very exciting to have him back to the show. It's going to be electric. Waiting for the pause. It's the pause and the zing. Andrew gave me the zing right here. All right, here we go. Clearing the snow around your fire hydrants. We talked about it this morning. We talked about a lot, but officials are asking us to get the word out, and we need your help. Here's one example of one great citizen out there. Chad, you would clear not one, not two, but 3 hydrants in around your neighborhood. And we can't thank you enough. If you're lucky to have Chad in your neighborhood, you better be giving him a big shout out and get him some coffee, since he's been outside freezing his butt off, getting those hydrants clear of snow. If you do notice a buried hydrant in your neighborhood and you're able to dig it out, make sure you send us a pic before and after so we can thank you and enter your name into a gift card drawing. You could join Chad in the drawing. I mean, what could be better than that? And then post your photos up on Facebook using the hashtag MyAdoptedHydrant and or tag us Fitchburg Fire Rescue. And we need your help. Water Utilities asking us to get the word out. You can adopt a hydrant. That's all on the website through the fire department's part, fitchburgwi.gov for that information. Cold weather, that's where we're at today. Yep. And we want to make sure you do stay safe. Extreme cold weather can be dangerous, even deadly. While everyone needs to protect themselves during the long stretches of cold weather, there are people who are especially at risk for injury. Elderly people with inadequate food, clothing, and heating can be a big risk factor. Babies sleeping in the cold bedrooms, people who remain outdoors for long periods of time, such as farmers, the homeless, hikers, hunters, construction workers. You need to be extra cautious being out there and learn how to stay safe and healthy with cold weather. Department of Health Services Wisconsin does have information here for you to keep you safe, but good reminders here that we need to be double and triple checking on all of us to make sure we're all staying safe. All right, finally, I want to update you on out of the blue unemployment claim. Yeah, if you get one of these, the blue and you are unemployed, it's probably fake. Yeah, we don't want you to get taken advantage of here. These typically get the personal information they need for a fake unemployment claim by purchasing it online. One con artist told US Today that he compiles lists of real people. Then he pays $2 in currency to match each name with the social security number, date of birth. This often all the information that is needed to fill out these phony claims, and then you're in trouble. If you think you are part of one of these claims, you need to report it. That information is at bbb.org/Wisconsin or call Consumer Protections. That does it for us for our headlines. Coming up next, we open up our guest 2-part segment today, and we're going to introduce you to and talk about Burn Safety Awareness Week here all of this month. Next, right here on Talking Fitchburg.
You could be spreading the coronavirus without realizing you have it. So follow guidance from authorities where you live and do your part. It's important to limit in-person interaction with anyone outside of your immediate household, but phone and video chat are safe ways to connect. It's also important to limit any social gathering. This advice applies to people of any age, including teens and younger adults. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us.
Ready!
That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu. And especially this year, no one has time to get sick. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. We got a very special show for you today. Adam Dorn is here from Fitchburg Fire Department. And Dorn, like we've done in the past, you've been doing great at setting us up with some really awesome guests. And this one's a familiar one now to the show as we welcome back a familiar face. Dorn, set us up. What are we talking about?
Yeah, so in February, it is National Burn Awareness Week, happens in the month of February. And very fortunate enough to know and call him a friend of mine, a gentleman from West Bend, Wisconsin. He's a captain out there at the Fire Prevention Bureau. He's been in the fire service many years. Got a start in the fire service, I believe, with our current fire chief as well. So there's some background with that. Kenny Aslin is with us today. He's also a member of the American Burn Association and is part of the Burn Prevention Committee in that association. And who better to ask to our show with us for our segment and let someone else talk to you guys about fire safety, burn safety. It's just awesome that we're able to do this. And thank you so much, Kenny, for joining us. And I'll let you guys take it away.
Well, thanks, Adam. Thanks for having me. Thanks, Jeremy, for having me back. So I really appreciate it. Just always trying to get the word out on anything safety, fire safety, community risk reduction, and especially being able to promote Burn Awareness Week this year.
Yeah, and this year's theme is Amps to Zap. I like this theme, and maybe electrical fires you don't think of burns necessarily, but you're gonna tell us a little bit differently here and what to look for. So as we look at electrical fires in general, what do you see out there? What are fire departments responding to?
Well, according to the National Fire Protection Association, local fire departments responded to an estimated average of about 44,000 home fires involving electrical failure or malfunction each year from 2012 to 2016. NFPA also states that home fires involving electrical failure or malfunction caused an estimated average of 440 civilian deaths and 1,250 civilian injuries each year in 2012 to 2016, as well as an estimated $1.3 billion in direct property damage a year. The National Institute of Health reports approximately 1,000 deaths per year because of electrical injuries. And of these, approximately 400 are due to high voltage electrical injuries, and lightning causes about 50 to 300.
Yeah, it's pretty scary stuff out there. I don't know that the lay person knows out there that electrical fires could cause so much damage. When you're looking at burns of this magnitude, no matter you're electrocuted, how much electrocution stuff. What's the actual burn that you're associating with here? What are you guys dealing with as far as treatment?
Well, a lot of the burns will be when you get an electrical burn, you end up with an entry wound as well as an exit wound because the electricity has to come in and it has to go out. So not only are you dealing with the entrance wherever it came in, you're also dealing with because your body is made of salt water and electrical conductivity material, the electricity will burn from wherever it comes in to wherever that exit point is. And that exit point is pretty violent in some cases where you get an explosive area of where the flesh and the muscle ends up being basically destroyed, and as well as the burns along that pathway.
Yeah, amazes me to think of burn going through your body, you know, the damage that's going through your body in and out. It just doesn't sound right in any fashion versus just getting burned from a hot pan or something. It's just that gives me the shivers for whatever reason. But as we look at National Burn Awareness Week and bringing awareness to this, these are some simple things that you can do to stop this from getting burned. Literally pretty easy, and it goes with the theme this year. So tell us about this year's a week of stuff that you'll be going through, and then we'll talk about safety tips.
Sure. National Burn Awareness Week, which is sponsored by the American Burn Association, is February 7 to the 13th. The theme for this year's campaign was selected to help prevent electrical injuries and deaths. So the slogan for the campaign is electrical safety from amps to zap. So we can use the hashtag NBAW for National Burn Awareness Week. The campaign will focus on the slogan with helpful hints about preventing electrical burns from A to Z. Categories of burn injury prevention topics include digging and underground power line safety, electrical shock drowning, extension cords. This is a good one. I didn't realize how prevalent this one was. Fractal wood burning. We can talk about that one at length. Lightning on the industrial side, lockout, tagout of equipment that's being serviced, power strips, whether it's in a business or in a home, as well as worn out electrical cords, and the number of injuries and fires those things start every year.
Yeah, I'm really curious to hear about the fractural wood burning one. But tell us from the safety standpoint, you've got some information from the Electrical Safety Foundation International, which kind of helps shed light on where these electrical issues and where they're coming from and just how deadly they can be.
Sure. According to the Electrical Safety Foundation International, there is a downward trend of workplace-related electrical fatalities from 2003 through 2018. According to ESFI, there were 160 work-related fatalities in 2018. That is up slightly from the 136 fatalities in 2017, but down from the peak of 254 in 2004. ESFI also reports a record low number of 1,560 non-fatal occupational injuries in 2018, which was a 29% decrease over 2017.
So, you know, numbers say it's going down, but that doesn't still mean we can't bring awareness to these different issues. Dorn, just a quick question on your front before we dive into some of these electrical issues. For Fitchburg Fire Department, what are the types of electrical fires that you're seeing here in the city of Fitchburg?
Over the last few years, we haven't had very many fires that kind of related back to electrical type stuff. However, a lot of the ones that we do have see the majority of have something to do with extension cord usage, power strip usage. And when I say that, it's more of the not using it in the way it was intended to be used, such as power strips being plugged into power strips, or maybe power strips into an extension cord, and then you plug everything you possibly can into that power strip. Well, all that energy needs to go through the power strip and that extension cord if it's plugged into that, and that extension cord may not be rated to for that kind of a power draw to go through that. And when that does, it heats up the electrical conductors inside, and it starts to melt the insulation, and then the wires start to touch and you get shorts, and then fires in the end. So that's some of the more common stuff that we've seen. Sometimes it's as simple as something being used, like a fan being used over and over again, and that might seize up, but that's more of a mechanical thing, not so much an electrical, but it's still somewhat tied into that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to take a quick break here, but when we come back, we'll talk about what some of these different categories are and why they are causing the burns that they do here with the expert Kenny and Adam Dorn here from Fitchburg Fire. Take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps! Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
It takes all of us to slow the spread of the coronavirus. So follow guidance from authorities where you live and stay home unless absolutely necessary. Use a delivery service for essential items like food and medicine. If you must make essential trips, stay 6 feet apart from other people. Wear a cloth face covering and wash your hands for at least 20 seconds as often as possible. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. We're continuing our talk today with the expert, not Adam Dorn. He is here, but we've got Kenny in here who is from a familiar name in the fire department industry, definitely across the state here. But when we're talking about burns, this is the guy you want to have on your show. And we are so thankful Kenny has stuck around here to break down some more fire prevention. So we're talking about National Burn Awareness Week. It's Amps to Zap is the theme this year. And Kenny, you had already mentioned about some of the prevention topics this year, but I wanted to go through those and discuss them a little bit more in depth with you so we can understand why these are being pointed out, but what's the damage that does or is being caused injury-wise, burns, everything in between. So a big one, and we see a lot of digging and underground work here in the city of Fitchburg. In fact, we probably hear more about gas lines being hit or otherwise, but what is the significance of this magnitude? Because these are probably high-powered lines in some instances.
Yeah, in a lot of instances, there's the underground wires are pretty high power. And again, the prevention ability for this to happen, it's a free service. You need to call 811 before you do any digging. They'll come out, they'll locate the lines. They'll be, I mean, it's going to be within a few inches on either side. But remember that not only is it dangerous, that people are killed and injured every day from underground power lines, but you also are required to pay the costs, and that becomes very expensive to dig up those lines and replace them. So a simple phone call and a free service to come out and locate those lines will save you headaches and probably save your life.
Yeah, and I got to observe out here in front of my house was some full underground or redoing of roads and everything, but they had to relocate some of our utilities. And it's amazing every day to see utility locators out every single day locating the same lines over and over again, just to verify that those things are in place, because the damage to the workers out there doing that can be catastrophic. Another area is electric shock in drowning. And the first thing that comes to mind here is when a basement floods and you got everything on, and that is like my worst nightmare here is water. But tell us what, I can't even imagine what goes on during this.
Well, electric shock drowning is actually in swimming areas. So like, let's say in a marina where there's electricity coming from the boats that are plugged in or from any of the electrical connectors that are there. So you could be swimming and all of a sudden you come in contact with some stray voltage and you end up being shocked, where you get basically your muscles get paralyzed and then you go under the water. I can only imagine this would be an awful way to die. So that anything we can do to prevent this from happening, just always be aware when you're around electrical equipment in the water, especially boats and marinas, that this is a danger that nobody ever thinks about. And again, this is probably not that many people dying from it in a year, but when we talk about prevention efforts, one is too many. So having one person die is too many. So if we can get this word out about electrical shock drowning in the marinas and people are aware of it, we can prevent these things from happening.
Absolutely. And another one, the common household one, is extension cords. And if I was to put a tagline to extension cords, not all made alike. Tell us the differences here in extension cords.
Okay, so extension cords, you have indoor cords as well as outdoor cords. So never use an indoor cord outdoors. There is the gauge of the wire. So some extension cords can handle more amperage than others. So make sure that you're using the correct cord for the amperage. Never use an extension cord that is smaller than what you are being plugged in. So like, let's say you've got a refrigerator in a garage. Make sure that that extension cord is bigger and a bigger gauge than the cord that's plugging in the fridge. As well as make sure they're all third-party tested. So look for a UL listing, because there are extension cords that are not third-party tested that are a danger waiting to happen, or be aware of the counterfeit extension cords. So there are a number of cords out there that are being sold that are not made in the US that have a counterfeit listing. So always be aware of where you're buying those cords from, as well as do your research so you know what cords you have.
Yeah, that if there was a big takeaway today, that's one of many there that it is so important to do your research on that one. All right, this one, I have no clue what this means, but fractional wood burning. Tell me, what are we talking about?
Yeah, this one is interesting. I didn't know about this one. We were in a burn prevention committee meeting, and one of the nurses that's on the committee, she works at Wake Forest, and she brought this up, and there was blank stares in the Zoom meeting. So I actually had to pull up a video. So what happens is you take a piece of wood, you pound some stakes in them, some metal stakes, you hook electricity to them as you've already, and then it'll make designs in the wood that'll flow through, and you can use water and oil as well to kind of direct those where the designs go. People make clocks out of them, and it is actually a pretty interesting art form. However, I can't think of anything more dangerous. Cindy said she had treated like 30 patients due to fractal wood burning. And I believe it was last year or the year before, a death in Milton, which I believe is just south of you guys, that happened. So if I was ever going to discourage a hobby, fractal wood burning would be the one hobby I do discourage.
Hooking electricity up to a metal bar to water. There's nothing good that can come from that. I'm sorry, but that's wow. Next one, we've definitely had cases here of lightning strikes injuring people right here in the Madison area, but across the U.S. And still, the chances of you getting hit by you're always thinking that I can win the lottery before I can get struck by lightning. Might want to think twice here.
Right. So do the odds matter if you're the one that's struck? No, they don't. So you want to make sure when there's lightning out, again, make sure you're inside. Make sure that if you're stuck outside, don't be the tallest object. You don't want to be directly under a tree. You may want to be flat and separate. So don't be together. So if all of a sudden you're stuck outside, you want to make sure that you are not in a group of people, because then you just reduced your odds of getting struck by lightning.
Yeah, and that's got devastating consequences pending how it happens, and people standing around you can be something else. Lockout, tagout, I suspect has to do with some working in high voltage areas per se, and I've seen some crazy videos with this. It's just scary.
Right, and that OSHA requires a lockout, tagout. So this is mostly for industrial equipment and machinery. So if you are at your job and we're going to be working on one of these machines, make sure the machine is unplugged. Make sure that the breaker is switched off for that machine. And also there are specific locks that are made for lockout, tagout, that so nobody can decide to turn on the machine. So if you're the unfortunate person who is working on the machine after you've taken all the precautions, but somebody else decides to come in and turn the breaker back on and plug it back in, they at least can't turn it on. So, and the other thing is notifying all the other employees that you're doing it. So tell them all, put up signs, and make sure you follow all the OSHA lockout, tagout rules.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a big one there, especially if you are in that industry where you're practicing those standards. That's a good thing to hear. We'll combine these two because we're running out of time here, Kenny, but power strips and worn out electrical cords. I know we hold on to things, people hold on to things for longer than they should have. And, you know, we all grew up in households where things were duct taped or electrical tape 3 times over, but that thing is still darn good and works.
Right. And electrical cords really aren't that expensive. So you can always replace an electrical cord on your lamp or whatever it's worn out. Power strips, make sure to not overload the power strip. Remember, power strips are really only meant for small electrical equipment like computers or telephone, charging, that sort of thing. Do not plug your microwave or your refrigerator into a power strip. Please make sure those have their own outlets. Nothing is more dangerous than that. And the same thing too with the power strips as far as the extension cords. Make sure that they're rated for what you're plugging in, and also make sure they are third-party listed so that you have a proven power strip that's going to work when you need it.
Finally, Kenny, the American Burn Association goal during this campaign, if you just want to run through that and where people can get some more information, like the association, all that things, where can they find all that information?
Sure. The American Burn Association's goal for the hashtag NBAW 2021 campaign is to reduce the incidence of injury and deaths from electricity. Please be sure to like the ABA social media platforms. So they're on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and share any hashtag NBAW posts on your personal and organizational social media feeds. Promotion of electrical injury prevention tips is the best defense against electrical burns. For more information, you can visit www.ameriburn.org.
Fantastic. Kenny, thank you so very much. Adam, thank you for setting this up and being a part of getting the information out. We're so glad to have you. Kenny, you're welcome back to the show anytime. And thanks for everything that you're doing out there to prevent safety in burn awareness.
Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks again for you guys for helping get the word out. And anytime you need me back on any topic, even if I don't know it, I'll research it and I'll make sure we get all the facts and figures so that people are listening. And we end up with a lot of fire injuries and deaths, burn injuries and deaths, and anything we can do to stop those from happening, getting the word out, I will be more than happy to help you out.
Yeah, I'm thinking we'll want to get you right about springtime when we're getting all of those lawnmowers started and all those summer activities awaken. Then we can talk to you about some more burn safety for sure. So thank you. Stay safe out there, and we'll talk to you soon.
Hey, thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you. All right. We'll take a break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, you just look at that. It's so sad.
Touchdown! Oh, did you see that? Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
But I need that back.
No.
Kevin!
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg, wrapping up the show for the day. I want to thank Kenny for joining us from the American Burn Association. We appreciate his time. We'll get both of these pieces up online for you to view at your convenience and practice all good fire safety and electrical safety this month and forever on. Just saying. All right, as we part ways, stay connected with Fact TV all day. It's right there, folks. Stay warm.